Hi everyone, this is Kathy Bolts, independent Tupperware consultant. I'm here to give you a demonstration of our stack cooker. This is one of my favorite products. I have the stack cooker. I have some of my pre-measured ingredients on here because I'm going to be doing a 3-course meal with dessert on the side. And here, I'm going to leave the butter here. This is a stack cooker. It's 3 layers and it's meant to be able to cook a stacked meal with 3 different courses in it at once. You have your 3-quart, then you have your 1 3/4 quart, and then we have our cover, or you can also flip it around to use as another dish. The stack cooker came out in 1990, right after I got into Tupperware. So I've been using the stack cooker for many, many years, and I completely love it. It's something that we use pretty much on a daily basis. Looking for, hold on, sorry. Need to get my napkin here that I had ready. I think I just messed my pages up. We're going to put butter on the top. Anyways, the meal that I'm going to make for you tonight is going to be chicken with rice in the center. We're going to do frozen veggies on the bottom, and then we're going to do our cornbread on the top. Now I've already pre-rinsed. I just put a little bit of water over the frozen veggies that I'm going to do in here. Now if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me done the veggies in our multi-cooker, which is a steamer. And well, there's a colander and you can steam in this also, but they're 2 different concepts. The multi-cooker middle part has a colander in it and it has holes in the bottom. It's a colander, but it's a base. And in it, it is made of steel encased with plastic so that your microwaves do not actually cook the food. The water that is heating up below cooks the food. It steam cooks it. Stack cooker microwaves actually go through the container and it cooks your food. But you're cooking 3 different things at once, or you can do just individual items as well. I use one of these pieces constantly. Baked potatoes. I love to do baked potatoes in here. They're so moist. All I do is pre-wash them, put them in. I've done 8 to 10 at a time in here, put them in the microwave. You set them to cook. I usually do my sensor, so it kind of figures out how long it needs. But I get that done and take it out, and then everyone grabs a potato. You put the cover on it, and it stays warm while you're preparing or getting the rest of your food on the table. Do cakes in this. You can do a whole chicken. I forgot to bring the cone out, but I'll do another video with it where I'll do a cake. But it'll turn your bottom container, your bottom casserole into a bundt pan. And then you can do a cake and frosted. You can do a German chocolate cake with your coconut pecan frosting already in there on the bottom. And when you flip it over, you have a warm cake with your frosting coming out the side. Really, really good. I've done this at parties and they love it. So what I'm going to do now is we've got your vegetables here. And hold on a minute, I'm sorry, I forgot I was going to put some butter on the top. You can actually add the butter after it's already been steamed, but a lot of times I just like to do it right away so I don't forget. Butter just adds a little flavor. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. If you're watching the calories and you don't want as much fat in there, you can leave the butter off. It just depends. They usually think there's a better flavor to it. Other times we just use Mrs. Dash seasoning on. I'm just going to put 2 or 3 pieces here on the top, and then it'll melt and we'll mix it in with it later. I'll put this on the plate up here. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the chicken. And the great thing about this is if you prepare it the night before, we do have seals that go on top. You can actually put it in your fridge, take it out, put it in the microwave while you're getting out of your clothes, changing into your house clothes that you like to wear in the evenings, your sweats, your t-shirts, while your dinner's in the oven. It's in the microwave. It's going to take 25-30 minutes, depending on what you're cooking. I also love doing rotisserie chicken. You don't need an actual rotisserie because you're going to do it in this microwave. You would again use it in the bottom, cook it in the bottom container, get my chicken out, and then you take the cone, put it in the bottom of the chicken, sit it up, and I will do a demo with that as well one day. One of my favorite ones. Put the chicken in there, you season it with a little bit of olive oil or butter, whatever you prefer, putting it all around it. You season the top of it, put it in the microwave with this cover. Whoops, which our butter stuck to it. You put it in the microwave with the cover, and depending on how big your chicken is, again, 25 to 30 minutes later, you can have a rotisserie chicken that is very moist. In fact, when I first started doing this at parties, I had customers that would tell me, oh, you stopped at Costco and picked a chicken up on the way. And I was like, no. So what I started doing is I would have the hostess prepare at one. And so when I got there, I would go ahead and put it in immediately. So it's cooking while I'm getting the party, while I'm getting everything else set up, my product for the demo. And then after the guests come in, when they come in, they would smell the chicken cooking in the microwave. That way they would see it physically come out. Then I would show them what I do before. So the hostess always had 2 chickens. She could use it for whatever afterwards, but it served her purpose and it served mine, improving to these customers that I did do this in the microwave, this chicken. So what I'm going to do is for the chicken, when I'm preparing my meats, when we get home from the grocery store, what's really nice is I like to have my chicken, I like to prepare my chicken and have it pre-cut. I sit at home and it's very calming for me to do this. I will take my chicken and I will cut it into cubes. This is a freezer made. It's one of our older freezer mates, but I love them all. This is the style of the new ones that we have, and they're nice because they nest on top of each other and they don't slide. And the same with these. They have little feet on the bottom, lets airflow, and the other new ones as well, so that they can stack and you're going to have that even freezing. So what I've done on this one is I've pre-cut the chicken on this side that we're going to be using. And then what I did, and then you have the free, there were 4 chicken breasts. I cut up 2 of them and I still have 2 in here. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to put my rice in here. Butter keeps wanting to stick up there. And I pre-added my milk and my water because what I'm using is the packaged Nor rice tonight because it's a quick cooking rice and I didn't have just a plain rice. I usually get like the jasmine rice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here and we're going to add the liquid, which I pre-measured out. And then I'm going to add my chicken. I'm not going to use all this liquid because my chicken is going to have a little bit of the chicken juices when you cook it. So you're going to get a little bit of extra liquid in there. So I don't want to have a mushy, runny rice afterwards. So sometimes you kind of have to go with what your microwave heat is when you're cooking and how you like your rice. You're going to have to play around with it. And we're going to add the chicken. You do add it raw to the rice. And then if you're doing just regular rice, it's usually 1 3/4 cups. These packages ask for 2 cups. But again, because of, I realized afterwards, because of the extra liquid coming from this chicken, combining the rice and the chicken, I did not want to have too much liquid in there and then just have it really running. This is going to be, these are big chicken breasts. We got them at Sam's Club. So they really have good sized ones and they're boneless, skinless, so they're easy to prepare. Usually I slice them in half. These I didn't because I was going to be doing some different things with it. And sometimes it's just as easy to cut it when you're going to cook it. But a lot of times, like tonight, it's nice having pre-cut meat ready to go. Then you can take it, leave it in the fridge, and do another meal the next day if you want. So I'm going to move this over here. And we're just going to stir this up. So the chicken and the rice, we have our veggies on the bottom, and then on the top we're going to do the cornbread. So you'll be able to take that out. Now usually we do not add sugar to our cornbread, but This one is a recipe that has your cornbread and your, let's restack this, has your cornbread, and it's made with creamed corn in it. So it's already going to be a little sweeter. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the recipe that I'm using, and we are going to be doing the cornbread with some sugar today and with the sweet corn. I'm going to follow the recipe. I sometimes follow recipes to the T, but most times I kind of modify recipes. You can ask my children, they'll attest to that. But I tell them the same thing, and I tell my customers the same thing. You know what? Just because we give it to you a certain way does not mean you have to keep it that way. Make it your own seasonings. In fact, what I'm going to do real quick here is I have some herbs de Provence. I love using this. I'm just going to add a little bit. So our Tupperware shaker, and then we're really into the Mrs. Dash garlic herb seasoning right now too. So I'm going to add that. I love these spice shakers. You can do them by the spoonful, or as you see me, just kind of pour them out, or you can have the smaller shaker end of it as well. And there's some little spikes here, so that when you shut it, it's going to clean out your holes and make it airtight fit. So your herbs are going to last longer. And then this is just a little bit of Lowry's garlic salt that I like to use. It has a parsley in it. It just adds a little bit more flavor as well. Whoops, sorry about that. These two. So we're going to have this in here. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to add our cornbread mixture. Let me get these over here. And for our cornbread, I had already put the liquid in our, I used 3/4 of a can of the cream style corn. It called for like 8.5 ounces, and that's a 14.5 ounce, so didn't use all of it. So I mixed in 3/4 of that, and then with the liquid that the recipe called for, and I'll be posting the recipes as I'm able to. I'll put a link to where you can go to the recipes and get the recipes that I used. But when we're doing the cornbread, when you're looking at a Stack cookbook, and I did actually use the recipes from the cookbook, but this is what the cookbook looks like. And what's nice about it is you can find your different foods. Let me find the one. I have the cornbread, and let me get the chicken. I think I messed up shrimp and rice. Okay, chicken and rice is back here. The sausage, there's chicken drumsticks, which I've done the drumsticks before. But you have 3 sections. They used to have them labeled A, B, and C when they originally came out. Now they do it a little bit differently. And then I'm just doing the frozen veggies down on the bottom, which I apologize, but I messed up my page where I had it. You can do beans and rice, all kinds of veggies that you can do. But when you look at it, this is how you can mix and match. And it's kind of hard to see. There you go. You can see the cornbread, the rice, and then the veggies that are down there. This one happens to have asparagus, which we love asparagus too. So asparagus is really good in season, and I will get that. And I'm putting my glasses on because I'm going to tell you what the measurements are. So I did do the butter as it called for, the 1 tablespoon, 3/4 cups of the flour. And I'm going to put it here, and I pre-measure the 3/4 cups. I have the blue and I have the red. Of course, being in Tupperware, we have all the different colors that come out. I don't always buy every color, but if it's time to get another one, because for Thanksgiving, the holidays, I put them all to use. So it's never wasted. 3/4 of a cup flour, 3/4 of a cup cornmeal, 1/3 a cup sugar, which probably should have put less than that. Let's see, this is 1 teaspoon salt, and then 1.5 teaspoons baking powder. And those are the ingredients. All of our measuring cups stack really nicely. I have 2 different styles here. This is the style of the new measuring cups that we have, except now in the catalog they're red. They were just blue before this one. But they're ergonomically correct so that they're really easy to use. They're good grasp on them. And they sit flat, just a little bit different from the ones that we had before, but this is the color they're actually in now. Same thing with the measuring spoons. They're the same style as the blue, which I like these because these snap into each other. And you get your 6, sorry about that, I think I have 2 different. They snap into each other so that you have 6 different measurements, whereas the older ones did not. They were on a little ring that you snap it onto. So I like this new style, but I had the red ones and I had the blue ones, so I used those. So let's see, we have the unsalted butter, the flour, the cornmeal, the powder, salt, granulated sugar, 1/2 cup vegetable oil, the milk is in there already, and the creamed corn. So I'm just going to add, and then there's the 3/4 cup milk, sorry about that, and 1/2 cup vegetable oil. The only thing I did not add in there is the vegetable oil. This is another measuring pitcher that we have, and it has been a while since we've had this particular one in the catalog. But again, when you bought Tupperware or sold Tupperware or your mom had Tupperware, in the Tupperware world, different products are going to come out at different times. It's definitely a lot of it is not your mom's Tupperware. It's not your grandma's Tupperware anymore. And let's see, granulated, oops, 1/2 cup vegetable oil, went a little bit over, sorry about that. And so you'll see other measuring cups that I'm using. This is not microwavable, but later I'm going to do the ones that we have that are microwavable. So I'm going to add the oil in there, and we're going to keep this over here. And I might do that. That was from the chicken. We're going to use this one. Mix and stir pitcher, I love. You can do so much in it. Not just, I'm mixing this particular cornbread in here. I do my cake mixes, cheesecakes. Pancake mix is nice because the cover on it, when you're using the mix and stir, here you can pour when you have it set like this, or you can put it when you're putting it in the fridge to store it so that you don't get the film over it. You're going to close that. And then if you're mixing and you want to leave the cover on because you don't want what you have to splash because it's kind of high out, you can do it that way too. So I just kind of go with the flow of whatever I am cooking. And we do have a whisk. I didn't really think I needed it for this. So I'm having to do eggs today, and normally that's when I use my whisk. So now we have our cornbread. So what I'm going to do is once I get this all done, we're going to put it in the microwave for 25 to 30 minutes. Sometimes when you have a little more liquid, it takes a little bit longer, but if I'm not mistaken, yes, our rice is already kind of bringing that out. So we're going to pour the cornmeal, the cornbread mixture on top. And this is our Tupperware silicone spatula, which I love. And this handle is really great for grabbing it when you're having to pour. So your cornbread and your veggies and your chicken or rice are all going to cook at once. So it's meant to set it and forget it. It's not going to burn on you, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do want to make sure that you take it out when it's done and you put it on the counter. You let it rest a little bit when it's finished, depending on the cooking time. And you'll get that information in the cookbook. I'm also going to be making some flan for you tonight. This is some extra oil that we have, so I'm going to put that over here. And I made some earlier so that you could see what it looks like. Then I'll show you how to make it. Put this in the microwave and get it started. And I'll go on to the next recipe. Oh, another fun thing. I discovered last week how I could make my own hot fudge or fudge. Actually, hot fudge because it comes out hot in the microwave. I'm going to set this for 25 minutes. I'm going to see how that does. How to make fudge in the microwave. Anything I can do in the microwave, if it's going to taste the same as it does on the stove, but I can cut down the time and I can cut down the heat in the kitchen, I'm going to do it in the microwave. In fact, we have 2 microwaves. We've got to replace the one because it just went out on us. But usually I will use those, plus I'll do things on the stove depending on what it is that I'm cooking. But I'm going to put these in here. I'm not going to cook them quite yet because we've got to wait for this microwave to be done. If you're doing this for your family, you might want to do the dessert ahead of time because flan does have to cool down. So I pre-did some flan already. I'll show you what I did. So I mixed the mix, and we have a tool. When you buy our Power Chef system, you can now get an accessory, and it's the tool for mixing. It's like a little mixer, and it's a whip and prep is what it's called. I have a different color because I bought this one a few years ago. And I put all the ingredients. I'm going to put all the ingredients in here for the flan. Your eggs, whatever. I've got everything over here. Your eggs, vanilla. I didn't realize there were only like 3 or 4 ingredients. Put that in there. Then what I did is I poured them into snack cups. Now, as I've explained before, but I will again because it's a new concept for a lot of people, is the steel being encased in Tupperware. This is metal in there. This is steel in there. There's water on the bottom, and the water is what's going to steam cook the flan on the inside. So yes, you can put a product such as our snack cup. This is the only time I'm going to tell you to put this in the microwave because these are not microwavable normally. But if you're putting them in our multi-cooker, you can put the snack cup in the original container. I thought I had it here. I don't. I was putting it in the sink. Was a green steamer, and it was configured a little bit differently than what our multi-cooker is. You can take 4 of these, and you can do 4 cupcakes in here if you do a cake mix, and then you can do individual cupcakes. So that's kind of nice because if you're one person or 2 people and you don't want a dozen cupcakes and you don't want to bake that many and you don't want to lose it because you're not going to be able to you can't buy half a box of cupcakes. So you want to be able to do 4 of them, and you can give yourself a treat, 1 each day. 2 if you really want that, if you're really having a sweet craving. And then what I'm going to do later is I'm going to make the hot fudge, and it's going to go over our flan. So the flan that I did earlier, so when we're done with our stack cooked meal, we're going to put this at 50% power in the microwave for 20 minutes. And then we're going to have our flan. Now I'm going to show you, it does come with another piece in it so that you can actually do shrimp up here. You can do chicken, you can do the vegetables inside, or you can do your baked potatoes. I like slicing sweet potatoes, and I put I call them sweet potato steaks, on the top or rings, and then you put them in there, and oh my gosh, it comes out so soft and so good. But that comes out really good. So I'm going to show you the flan. This is one that I made earlier tonight. Now, they're in the snack cup still. 2 of them are. I already took one out. But it is take the knife around there. Well, my other one did drop earlier. Oh, there you go. I had 4 of them, but we kind of ate one. We didn't wait for the hot fudge. So I just go around. I might do them a couple more minutes. I think I made a mistake and put them in the freezer trying to cool them faster. Doesn't always work. But here's 3 little flan. Just something to whet your appetite or take away that sweet tooth when you have it. I'll show you later when I do the fudge on it once I've done the fudge, but that's the goal is to make the fudge to go over the flan. Or you can do a berry. You can do a frozen berry topping if you'd like. And that comes out really good too. Just however you like eating it, you can do anything in minutes, literally. And that's what I love about our Tupperware is you can do everything in minutes. And when you have the right tools in your kitchen, it makes cooking fun. But it makes it so beneficial for your family. You're saving money, you're saving time. You do have more fun with it. My son Josh and my daughter-in-law Denise are so excited right now. They did a party for me in March, I believe, and or beginning of May, beginning of birthday month. And they got about $300 in Tupperware, and they ordered it, and it's coming in, and they're now setting up their kitchen. And I was just talking to them earlier. We're actually going to do a couple of videos over at their place. They live in an apartment, so it's going to give us a different perspective of cabinets and what you can do when you're living in an apartment and maybe you don't have a lot of space. We'll give you some ideas on that also. But they're so excited because they're setting up their kitchen now, and she's been doing baking. She's been doing a lot of baking. She works at a hotel, so she really likes, she's in the kitchen all the time at work, but now at home she's even more inspired to actually bake more at home because she has what she needs at home to do that, and she has the right tools. So I am going to sign off for a few minutes till our dinner is done. Then I'm going to come back, show that to you, and we're going to make the hot fudge as the other flan is cooking. We've got 4 more flan that we're going to cook. And so as that's cooking, we're going to mix up the fudge, get that prepped, and then we'll check out the food while it's resting. We'll do that, and then we can check out the other food, and you can see how it comes out. I'll be back. Hi, everyone. I'm back. We've been doing the stack cooked meal, and I showed you the cornbread is our top layer, and you can see the steam coming out of the other. And I put a little bit extra time. I actually melted butter on the top of it. And then this is our rice, our chicken and rice. And this is the chicken and rice, the Knorr brand that has the cheese. So it's kind of a cheesy rice. And then this is our steamed veggies are down at the bottom. And so we have our meal. I'll go ahead and plate that in a little bit and show it to you plated. What I'm going to do now. Hi, everyone. I kind of messed up a little bit. I just wanted to show you our stack cooked meal that we did. And I did the cornbread on the top. You can see it. I added some butter to it. After it was cooked, I let it rest for a few minutes. And then I have our chicken and rice. And this was the cheesy rice, the Knorr cheesy rice. And cheese and broccoli, I believe it is. And then I did steamed vegetables on the bottom. It took about 30 minutes. I like my rice drier, so I don't like it real moist. And then I'll plate that in a little bit, and I'll show you the plate of food. What I'm going to do now, I just put in the microwave the rest of the mix for the other flan. So I have the other 4 snack containers in here. Again, the only time I'm going to tell you it's okay to put snack cups in the microwave. You can do cheesecakes, you can do mini cupcakes, or you can do flan. We're going to do 50% power. And let me see. 20 minutes. Power level is 50. Oops. And we're going to start that. And that'll be the other flan. That'll get our other flan done. In the meantime, I'm going to put together the ingredients that we need for our homemade fudge in the microwave. I'll be melting the butter. Shouldn't have done that yet. Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to mix this up, then I'm going to melt the butter and put it in there. I apologize. Should have done that first. But what we are going to put in here is, and this is one of my other stack cookers. It's the burgundy color. I have 2. I have the blue one and I have this one. This one I've had for a while. Our original color was tan. I usually have at least 2 stack cookers in my possession that I use because I use them so much. So we're doing brown sugar as a ½ teaspoon of salt, which some of it's spilled in the container. We're going to do as 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to mix in there. And then we'll be melting the butter, and I'm going to add our whipping cream. It's a ½ cup of whipping cream. So I'm going to mix this up, then I'll add the butter before we get started. You melt your butter, then you throw it in there with the brown sugar and your cream. What's nice is I was able to do it all together Just make sure you moisten it, stir it really good. And my silicone spatula. My purple one is my favorite. I have green and I have red, but I like the purple. Right now, I believe our spatula is red in the catalog, which I'll get more. I use a lot of those too. One isn't enough for me. I have 2 of each of our choppers, except for a medium one, because everyone in the family uses them. And if you want a chopper when you're going to make an omelet, you need to have more than one. My uncle is cute. He was so excited. My mom loves doing her hash browns in the chopper. And she'll take 1 potato and she'll chop it up in her Power Chef chopper. In this red one, you can make great hash browns really fast. And then because it's only 1 for 1 person, or if you really want more, you can do 2 if you're 2 people, depending on the size of the potatoes. It's really nice because you can make hash browns in a few minutes and have your eggs and hash browns homemade and not have to worry about finding the frozen ones. Now during the pandemic, frozen hash browns have not been easy to find. And they have a little bit more moisture in them when you get the frozen ones too, and we like them kind of crispy, so we like doing them fresh. So I mix this up. The only thing I'm going to have to add is the butter. So as soon as this other flan finishes, I'm going to add, and then this is what I'm going to take, I believe it's like 4 minutes to do our hot fudge. Get the butter in there, and then with the cream, it's going to thicken it, and it's going to caramelize it. And we'll do it 4 minutes, and we'll check it and see if we need to do a little bit longer. Then you let it cool, and then you're going to have your own homemade fudge for your ice cream or for your flan. I made some about a week and a half ago. I'm trying to remember what I made it for. I was doing something and I needed fudge. I know I made a cream cheese cake in my lasagna pan. I baked a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. And I hadn't been baking a lot in a long time as far as sweets. We're not big sweet eaters, but lately one person or another in the house has had a sweet craving. And so I promised that now that I'm cooking, I will do it when I'm doing my videos, my cooking videos, so they get the benefit of eating whatever it is that I'm going to bake. Usually I do all my big sweet baking for the holidays. Okay, now I'm kind of killing time stirring it here, but it did get nice and smooth. So as soon as this finishes, I'm going to come back, melt the butter, and then I'm going to show you how quick this is once you put it in there and how it thickens, and it makes really nice. And we can put some over one of the already made flan, because we're not going to have time to wait for it to cool down. So we're going to eat one of the ones that I already had pre-done that I showed you and put in the container earlier. So first half of the video, if you didn't see that. Okay, I will be right back. Thanks. Hi again, everyone. Just want to let you know I've taken out the flan. It has been 20 minutes and it's a little jiggly, but the knife goes in and comes out clean. So our flan is done. So I have 4 in here and we're going to put that aside. They have to chill. Now I'm going to finish the homemade fudge. And then I'll show you the flan mixture. This is our microwave. These are our microwave measuring cups. So I did go in and melt the butter, which is a 1/4 cup butter. 30 seconds. I melted it. I'm adding it to the mixture that you see me mix earlier, which was the heavy whipping cream, brown sugar, vanilla, and just a pinch of salt. So we're going to mix that all up together. And this recipe I got from Cookies and Cups is the website. I just looked this one up. I usually will, again, go to different recipes, sometimes just make up my own, but use the guidelines of other recipes. And this is the one that I'm using now. I like the texture and the consistency of it. And the flavor was really good too. So that now we've got all that mixed up. So you whisk it, you blend it. I've just mixed it, and we're going to put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, remove and stir, and then we're going to go 2 more minutes. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to rest my spatula there. So we're going to put it in for 2 more minutes. And then we're going to serve that over our flan that I pre-made earlier. So let me get that out. Oh, forgot to show you the finished meal that I showed you in containers. We have the cornbread, the veggies, stir-fry veggies, and this is chicken and cheesy rice. So that's actually going to be for our lunch tomorrow. We had enchilada casserole for dinner tonight. I'm going to take a couple of these, put them on the plate, because the others are going to have to cool. So let me get, I'm just going to scoop this out. I forgot I used my spatula. This is very handy. Just put your flan on the plate. Another little piece of it down here. Don't want to leave any of that. Well, it's more fun when it's pretty, but it works either way. My son said the cornbread was very good, by the way. And actually, I did have some. It is very good. We usually, like I said, don't make it with the sugar on it, but this one came out good. It's a little sweeter, but it's going to taste. So as soon as we're done with our fudge, we're going to add it to the top of our flan. And then I will mix the other flan. What I did was I mixed the mix in here, and I guess I can actually get my eggs ready. But it's 4 eggs when you're making this particular recipe. Okay, turn that off. 3, and then we're going to get the 4th egg. Supposed to do the flan, we're going to do the egg. I believe it was 1.5 cups of milk. And then we're going to add vanilla, teaspoon vanilla, and then I put a little bit less than the 3/4 cup sugar because it's a little sweet, and then we're going to put fudge on it. So we kind of have a tendency to make things not as sweet as the recipes call for them. It gets a little sweet. Like I said, we're not real big dessert eaters all the time. So if it's a little sweet for us, we kind of stay away from it. Here, do this. Now I'm going to show you how cool this is. Let me stir it up some more. Now remember we used cream, so this is going to be a little thinner initially. And then as it cools, it's going to thicken a little bit. So, whoops. So stir that, and then we're going to go 2 more minutes. Okay, so when you're going to make, I added cinnamon to this other flan, so it's going to be a little different color. But this is our whip and prep, and when you get you can buy it as an accessory to the PowerChef system. This is what the PowerChef is, and it's our pull cord. You've seen the chop with it. I make all my homemade salad dressings in this one because we make a lot. The Whip and Prep has the 3 beaters on it, but it's really cool. You can make ice cream with this. I've made it was actually a craft recipe, strawberry ice cream for a meeting that we had. But anyways, to make the flan, you just whip it up so everything is mixed. And then once everything is mixed really good, you're going to cool it in your ramekins. You're going to bake them in the microwave. See how nice and frothy that is. If you're doing whipping cream in here, it's really cool. For my cold brew, I'll do some cinnamon little tiny bit of sugar, or we use monk fruit. That's really good. It's not quite as sweet as the sugar. But add a little bit of cinnamon to it, and then you can put it on the top, the top of a hot cup of coffee and mix it in and have that flavor. Or you can do it to make your cold brew coffee pretty and frothy and creamy. And you don't have to wait till Starbucks or another coffee bean for another coffee place to open, because sometimes we're impatient about that. So then what I did is I'm going to pour this into my mix-in store, and then I'm going to put it into the other snack cups, and I'm going to have 8 snack cups worth that I can cook later. So we'll have more of the flan to go with that fudge that we're going to finish making. But I will finish that fudge. I'm going to get my ladle here, and then we will ladle some out and see how it comes. Nope, there now it's bubbling. Caramelizes, you can smell it just like you do on the stove when you're boiling it, except when you're boiling it, when you're doing it on the stove, caramel, you've got to make sure you don't burn your sugar. It's a lot easier to burn it on the stove. So, now it's a perfect color. Okay, I'm going to let it set a little bit, and then I'm going to spoon it over. I want to thicken. I'll let it set for about 5 minutes just so it can thicken. Actually, it's going to be easier to show you. This is how it is now. I'm going to wait 5 minutes, and then I'm going to come back so that you can see how it thickens as it cools. Then you can store it in a jar, put it in the fridge, and you can have your hot fudge for whatever dessert you want. I'll be back in 5. Oops. Hi everyone, I'm back. Okay, so we let the caramel cool a little bit more than 5 minutes, but you can see that you're not going to have a problem with it getting thick because it really thickens nicely. So I'm just going to add some to the top here. Probably should have done it when it was warmer. I think I let it cool too much. Oh, it looks like it actually made caramel candy. So I might reheat it a little bit if you're going to put it on top. What I'm actually thinking of doing is adding some to the top of the flan that just came out, putting the seal on there, and it's going to be kind of flan in a cup. And the kids can eat it tomorrow. The adults that are here can eat it tomorrow. And this way their caramel's going to be on top. They don't even have to get another plate dirty. But if you want to set it down, put some berries on top, and you want to make it look just a little bit nicer, you can do that. So the rest of this we can put, of course, you can put some in a jar, or you can put it in a piece of Tupperware, which I have plenty of Tupperware, so I'm going to put it in probably one of my modular rounds and store it so that we have more. I'm going to finish cooking the second batch that I have. So I think I'm going to wind up with like 16 little ones, but we have nieces that are here and my nephew. So they're going to be enjoying that tomorrow. And Warren, of course, wanted me to save him some, and Mom hasn't eaten any. So I don't think we're going to have a problem having someone eat whatever we have left. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, if you're interested in any of the products, my website is csboltz, B-O-L-T-Z, at www.csboltz.com. You can shop or go to my Facebook page, business page, which is Kathy's Tupperware page, independent business owner. You can go there and you can see some of our most recent products, new specials that are going on, and I will be posting the recipes as well. Thank you for joining me again. I appreciate your subscribing to this channel and keeping up, comment, ask me any questions. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me today. If you try any of the recipes, please let me know. God bless, or you have any questions. Have a good night. Bye.